3 months ago in mid-June, I woke up at the crack of dawn to watch the fog-covered sunrise at Cape Spear, the easternmost point of Canada. Later that same day, I took a cold dip in the Atlantic Ocean at Middle Cove Beach. Part of it was to pay my respects to the great Terry Fox, and another was to mark the beginning of my journey that would take me across this vast country. Along the way, I witnessed lost Viking settlements, an iconic lighthouse, the highest tides on the planet, the home of Anne of Green Gables, magnificent cathedrals, towering urban skylines, UFO landing sites, brilliant canola fields, epic city bike paths, and jaw-dropping mountain scenery. This road has carried me thousands of kilometers across one of the most beautiful and fascinating nations on Earth. And from the very start, the goal was always to reach Tofino, perched on the far western edge of Vancouver Island, along the shores of the Pacific Ocean. With its rugged coastline and raw natural beauty, it feels like the perfect place to bring this great Canadian road trip to a close. So join me now for the final chapter of my journey as we make our way towards Tofino.
Same people on board. So if conflict arises, we have nowhere to go.
Beautiful drive I've done 2 times already in my life before, so I have some good memories of going down this highway. Made it. Well, still gotta make it to my hotel tonight, but yeah, not gonna film too much this evening because it's just rainy and it's getting dark, so I'll show you what this place is like tomorrow. I got the full day tomorrow and also the day after that, a bit of that day to show off this town. So I'm glad I'm going to stop soon. Driving in the rain is not the funnest, especially in these winding roads. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Tofino. Alright, the sun has come out somewhat. It's a much nicer day to be here. We're in the little central hub, Tofino. It's a very small town, but and I need to find some coffee this morning to drink. So, a couple coffee shops in town, but I did a little Google Maps search, and there's one coming up here that has pretty good reviews. Tofino's name was given by Spanish explorers in 1798, who named the area in honor of the Spanish naval officer Vincent Tofino de San Miguel. For most of its early history, Tofino remained a small and remote fishing outpost, isolated from the rest of the island. That began to change in the 1950s, when the highway from Port Alberni was completed, finally connecting this rugged coastline to the outside world. Over the decades that followed, Tofino transformed into one of Canada's premier coastal tourism destinations, drawing visitors for outdoor activities, including surfing, as the area is widely considered the surfing capital of Canada. Visitors can also take boat excursions through the nearby UNESCO Biosphere Reserve of Clayoquot Sound, while storm watching in the fall and winter has become another popular activity, when powerful Pacific systems send 20-foot waves crashing along the coastline. Today, despite its tiny residential population, Tofino attracts well over 1 million visitors each year. And like many elite Canadian getaway destinations, that popularity comes at a price. Summer hotel rates are among the highest in the country. Gourmet restaurants line the waterfront, and local art galleries sell indigenous and coastal artwork for thousands of dollars. The high cost can make extended stays difficult for many travelers, but at the same time, it helps preserve the town's boutique charm, natural beauty, and overall exclusivity. There's a number of different beaches to enjoy here, and the first one I'm headed to is a beach called Tonquin Beach. It's a little bit out of the center of town, but not too far. And a local told me it's the best one to go to, so I'm going to follow her advice. And hopefully I can get a parking spot. I lucked out, one just opened. Everything else is completely full here. So just a note here, if you're going to park in this area to go to the Tonquin Beach, you're going to have to pay for the parking. And for 2 hours, it's going to cost me about just over $6. Here's the entrance to the park. Be careful for bears or cougars, cool. And some of the park rules. They talk about tides, so if you're in the water and you're going to surf or swim out deep, you got to understand how the tides hit. Interesting. Yeah, I made it across this country. I'm gonna go swim in the Pacific today, and also later tonight I'm gonna watch the sunset. Yeah, here's my first view of the Pacific. Now the mission is to get into this water. The waves are pretty heavy, so it's very wavy down over there. Alright, that was not as bad as I thought it would be. It was fairly pleasant. It's about the same temperature as actually Middle Cove Beach in Newfoundland. It's totally worth it for the views, man. Now I'm the second coolest guy at this beach because this dude is swimming in there. This incredible viewpoint here has a monument to Canadian soldiers who fought during the Korean War in an area called Kapyong. The Battle of Kapyong was fought in April 1951 during the Korean War. It was a pivotal engagement where United Nations forces, included roughly 700 Canadian soldiers, held their ground against a massive Chinese offensive. 10 Canadians were killed in the fighting, and many more were wounded. Today, this site stands as a memorial to those who fought and fell during that battle. And I've been to Kapyong a few times. It's a really nice area north of the city of Seoul. A lot of people go there during the summertime, especially to retreat from the city. It's a nice getaway place, very beautiful with valleys and mountains and lakes for swimming. The monument sits on the top of this place here, which is special. Alright, I want to check out another beach here. This is the longest beach because it is called Long Beach. Is this real life? Surfers are out today. Some guy riding. Yeah, nice. You're doing a good job. So glad I picked Tofino as my final spot for my road trip across Canada, because literally heaven on earth right here. I worked up a good appetite there at the beach, and now I'm gonna have some fish tacos at a place called Tofino. Here's a turn into the Tofino place. There's a lot of little restaurants here. Legit the best taco I've ever had in my life. Fish tacos are my favorite out of all the tacos, and this was the greatest fish taco I've ever had in my life. It's all downhill from here. Wow. The ultimate wow. I'm already thinking about another time I'm going to return to Tofino in my future. I'll come here at a different time in my life. And yeah, I'm already envisioning it, so. But I would come back here just for that fish taco. So 3 months ago, look at that. 3 months ago I woke up at just after 4 in the morning to drive to Cape Spear, which was just southeast of the city of St. John's, to watch the sunrise. And it was a foggy morning, so no dramatic sunrise that morning, but still, it was the beginning of my trip across Canada. And here I find myself in Tofino, headed towards Cox Bay Beach to watch the sunset.